Show. This is Virginia Parsons, your host, and I'm excited to share with you my very special guest, Shelley Sanders, all about how to make an irresistible connection to attract your perfect clients. So if you've never been to one of these shows before, please hang around. You're going to get some really valuable information. And if you have been here before, please help spread the word. Just click share in the comment section and let us know also where you're viewing from. All right, we're going to get started. Here is the trailer. Welcome, everyone, to the Inspirational Businesswoman Show. This is Virginia Parsons, your host. I'm looking forward to sharing with you today some very special information from my guest, Shelley Sanders. But first, we'd love to hear where you're hanging out from or where you're viewing from. So go ahead and put your comments in the comments section and help spread the word as I requested before. We really appreciate you helping us get the word out today. Now, today's show is sponsored by Hangout-marketing.com, where you can receive a complimentary live stream and hangout marketing assessment. Now, you might want to take this assessment if you are thinking about expanding your reach using live stream and hangout broadcasting. There are some amazing broadcasting vehicles out there for you, and you just need to learn what's the best tool for your business or combination of tools. So go ahead and take that as assessment. It will only take you a couple of minutes to complete, and you might even qualify for a complimentary Shine strategy session with me, where we'll sit down and analyze your business and decide what's going to work best to help you shine as the expert in your field. Now, let me get into introducing you to Shelley, my special guest. She is a business intuitive, but she's also specializes in client attraction. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. You can find out more about Shelley at connectwithshelley.com. But I want you to understand that this is about making a connection inside yourself so that you attract your ideal clients. And I'll let Shelley tell you, of course, a lot more about that as we go through the interview today. Here's the three topics. We've got 4 senses. I thought we only had 3. Oh, maybe we have 5 or 6. I don't know. But Shelley's going to talk to us about the 4 that you're going to want to use in making the best connections. Secondly, is there a good and not so good time to make these connections? Well, Shelley has some answers for you on that as well. Finally, she's going to really give you a formula for how to tap into your inner wisdom to create a steady income stream. So Shelley, go ahead and unmute yourself and come on in and say hi to our audience and turn your camera on. There you go.
Hi, Virginia. How are you?
I am doing great. We know we're always running through technology blunders here and there. Thank you for hanging in there with me, and you guests who are waiting for us, thank you as well for hanging in there. We really appreciate your taking the time, because I know your time is valuable, and we appreciate Shelley taking the time and the effort to share her expertise with us. So Shelley, I want to start with, how does one become an intuitive, first of all? or realize that they're an intuitive, and how then you got to starting to use those gifts in ways that can help people really connect deeply on an inner level. So you go ahead and give us some background on that.
Okay, so that's a great question. The first thing is everyone has their own intuition already connected within. So it's something that you were born with and you have it as a child. But when our parents say, trust the guardians around you, trust your teachers, trust everyone but yourself, what happens is you end up turning off your inner wisdom. So your inner wisdom is that natural gift that helps you stay on your right path. And in this case of business, it really helps you as far as what are the best business ideas for you, what's natural for you, what's fun for you, and then you're able to put that out into the world by answering your soul's calling so that you can do the work that you're born to do. So I absolutely love working with the inner wisdom because when you have this connection, it helps you to release the mind as far as scarcity or limitations, because oftentimes our mind will cause us to work from a place of fear instead of working from a place of expansion. So when you're with your inner wisdom, you're really expanding into your full possibilities. So I think that's the best way to explain it is expanding into your full possibilities.
Okay, so how did you realize that you had this ability to expand to your best possibilities, your greatest?
Well, it's something that I've always noticed within whenever I wanted to go off track or do something that I wanted to do, I would have that small, still voice inside that would say, no, this is the right path. And what I've noticed with myself is whenever I would ignore it, things around me would begin to break. And I also noticed this in my business. And the reason why it would break, it was to get my attention because I'm a little hard-headed. So things would break to get my attention so that I would get back on track. And the way that I noticed this in my business is when I was working with a business coach. I did all the right things that should have gotten me the clients right away. But for some reason, it just wasn't happening. And so my coach and I, we figured out that I was on a new path where I was going to offer a new type of business, but we just didn't know what it was yet. And so my inner wisdom came through and said, okay, it's time for you to move forward and leave this coach. But at that time, I was feeling pretty vulnerable. I had a lot of expenses out there. I was spending more money than what I was making, so I wasn't ready to let go of my safety net. And because I didn't let go of that safety net, within a 1 week period, the pipes broke inside the house, they broke out in the backyard, and then I had major car repairs that was $3,500.
In what time frame did that occur?
That was all in a 1 week period. And
Oh,
so you can imagine that my mind was really spiraling. It was giving me a hard time. And in the midst of that, my inner wisdom came through and said, okay, get a job because that way you can pay your expenses and you don't have to pay anyone back. So it was during this point, it was right before the holiday season. I got a job at Target. And it was when I was stacking shelves, I realized, and I asked the question to myself, how many women business owners abandon their entrepreneurial dreams for a job? And how many feel betrayed to the point where they never go back to that entrepreneurial dream? And that's when the light bulb came on and it was like, oh my goodness, this is it. This is what I'm here to do. And I've been following that path ever since. And I've been attracting clients that say, Shelley, you have to help me now because if I don't get clients right now, I'm going to have to get a job. So that's one way of you listening to your inner wisdom and having it help you and then giving you proof that it really works.
And so do you have some example in particular where you really felt like you helped them step out, make that deeper connection, and all of a sudden ideal clients were revealed to them?
Absolutely. There's one client in particular. When she first came to work with me, she said, I want a waiting list of new clients. She said, but I have a problem with procrastination. So she shared that whenever she would sit down to do work in her business, She just get on social media just for a quick check, just to see what was going on. And before she knew it, it was 3 hours later, and she spent that entire time looking at videos of puppies and kittens. So when I connected in to see what was happening with the inner wisdom, I said, I understand that you think it's procrastination, but it really isn't. So let's go deeper and check in with the inner wisdom and see what's really going on. So here's what we found out. There was a generational issue with money from her grandmother and her mother. And when she was a little girl, she saw her mother and grandmother standing together, and they were whispering about how times were tough and it was really difficult to make money. Now, they were whispering because they didn't want her to overhear and be concerned. But in her little child's mind, she saw it as them coming together with a special bond, because only really good friends whisper. And so she was concerned that if she wasn't like them, she would be left out in the cold. So what we found out was, if she made more money than her mother and grandmother, she thought they wouldn't support her anymore or help her with her two children. Isn't that amazing? And when I took it even deeper and I said, well, did your mother or grandmother ever say this to you? And she said, no. I said, well, where did that come from? And she said, she just thought that because they were so huddled together and speaking, that that was their special bond. But once she realized that that wasn't the truth, that they wouldn't abandon her, it just naturally, it just disappeared. That concern was no longer there. So now when I see her on social media, she's promoting online classes. And when she's going to events, she books a vendor table, and she now has a line of people in front of her waiting to meet her.
I love that. So yeah, we all have gone down that rabbit hole, haven't we? Looking at videos of cats and dogs and God knows what else. But the point was that it wasn't procrastination. There was really something deeper going on with her, which is very revealing, because I'm sure that's true with a lot of us. So there are other fears or issues or unconscious or subconscious driven behaviors or response patterns that, sort of masquerade as procrastination.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so she was just misdiagnosing herself the whole time, not knowing that it was much deeper. And I'm just excited to share that breakthrough that we had, that was in a half-hour phone call. So all of that time that she had where she couldn't work on her business, we were able to take care of that, identify it, and have it dissolve within a half hour. It was just that simple.
Gosh. That's something that could be a lifetime issue in a half an hour. Oh, that's phenomenal. So that's very, very exciting. And I think let's let that lead into our first topic. And that is about making that connection. And how does one do that? And can one do it, people who are watching us, without necessarily needing your guidance? I mean, obviously with your guidance, 30 minutes, that's cutting to the chase, isn't it?
Right.
But what steps can people take initially to just start making the connections that are deeper than the idea of procrastination?
Well, I love this topic because whenever I speak to audiences live, I always do a little test, because they don't think that their inner wisdom is connected, but they find out it really is. So I always ask the question is, have you ever experienced chills, goosebumps, the hairs standing up on your arms or the back of your neck? And when I'm in front of a live group, 90% of the hands go up. I said, great, that's called clairsentience, and that's clear feeling. So that's one way that your inner wisdom connects with you, is through feeling. For some people, they may get chills as a confirmation of, yes, I'm on the right track. This is right, because I just got the chills. Mm-hmm. Another way that your inner wisdom connects with you is through clear hearing, which is called clairaudience. Mm-hmm. So if you've ever been in a room by yourself and maybe you've heard someone say your name, and when you turn around, there's no one there, it's not that you're going crazy. You just heard your inner wisdom. Your clairaudience was on, and you were actually able to hear. So this is one of my favorites because it takes away that part of playing charades of, well, what do you mean? Or what are you trying to say, you can actually get the dialogue in your head. So the way that it comes through is similar when you would read a book and you hear the words in your head. That's clairaudience. Another one is claircognizance, which is clear knowing. So some people will refer to this one as a gut instinct or maybe women's intuition. So, for you ladies who have been in relationships and maybe you think something's a little fishy, it's not quite right. I feel like you may be stepping out on me, but I can't prove it, but I don't know how I know it. I just know it. And then later on, once it's revealed, you're correct. That's your claircognizance. So that's your inner wisdom letting you know that something is off. And then the last one is clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, which means that you could see from your third eye. So if you're in meditation, you might see colors, you might see signs or symbols. Often I will see a color photograph, like a still shot or still snapshot of something, and then that gets activated. So when all of those are on at the same time, you can get a whole story of what's happening, and you can understand what's going on just by feeling through your clairs. It broadens the story.
Okay, so those are the 4 senses.
Mm-hmm.
And now, do you find that you operate from one of those senses more than another? And are people different in that regard?
Well, everyone's a little different, and I find that at least 2 out of the 4 are activated, but you can do fun little exercises in order to increase it. So for me, clairaudience was the last one to turn on for me. But once I relaxed and let go and stopped forcing it, that's when it turned on. And the funny story, what happened, and I didn't realize when it had turned on for me. I was just driving on my way to an appointment, and I heard take the next exit. So I'm hearing this in my head, but I'm answering out loud, and I'm saying, but there's so much traffic, I can't get over. And then I heard, you can exit now. And when I looked back, the cars that were next to me were now behind me. So I was able to get off the freeway. And then I heard, slow down, there's cops ahead. And when I slowed down and I made the right-hand turn, I saw a motorcycle officer giving someone a ticket. And when I went a little further down, I saw another officer giving someone else a ticket. And then that's when it dawned on me, oh my goodness, my clairaudience is on. So you can receive information that you yourself would not personally know, but that your inner wisdom is communicating to you. And your inner wisdom communicates to you through your soul in order to keep you on your right path.
Oh, I love that. Because if you recognize it, so the problem I know for a lot of people is that they don't recognize it, or they might, as you say, hear it through clairaudience, but not think sort of like you were at first thinking, well, what that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you have to learn to trust. That's the inner wisdom, trusting in the information that you're getting rather than doubting it. I'm assuming you'll become more responsive the more you trust.
Exactly. And the more that you trust it, the more you realize that it's turned on. And the clairaudience can work with you for you. You don't have to be bummed out if you can't hear. Sometimes just standing in line at the grocery store, maybe the people in front of you are having a conversation and it sparks something in you. And then oh, I'm supposed to hear that. Although they're talking, that information really is for me. And then you can proceed to move forward. One of the things that I like to do is, if you have a scarf or a blindfold, just put it over your eyes and just relax and notice which of your senses start firing up. Are you very sensitive to feeling? Is your knowing just turning on for you, or are you able to hear? So once you close your eyes, you can tell which senses are coming on for you stronger, because you're not using your physical eyes to see. So anything in front of you does not become a distraction.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So closing your eyes helps you get more focused on where it's coming from.
Exactly.
Well. Yeah. Well, and what about the visual? I mean, do people get messages that way? I mean, you didn't really talk about that as much.
Yes, absolutely. You can get a visual where you could see an event that's going to come up for you. So maybe you get a business idea and you just see a logo. and you think, oh my gosh, that's my new logo. And then you can describe it to someone, or you can see a path unfolding before you that helps you. So as you trust it, you can play with it and it becomes stronger and stronger for you.
So how do you, as a person who's new to this concept of really connecting with your inner wisdom, what steps do you suggest that they take first? And some easy, basic, what I love is that with this show, I love to bring tips to people that they can act on immediately. Something
Right.
a gem they can take home. I call it the pack your bag moment. They can take home and say, I can implement this in my business right now. What sort of tip do you have for them in that regard?
So the easiest way is just sitting down in a quiet space, maybe having some soft music on, no other distractions, and just having a pen and journal in hand, and then just start writing. So at the beginning, when you write, you'll think that it's from your mind, and most likely it will be. But as you continue writing, you'll notice that the conversation begins to change and that your inner wisdom begins to come forward, and it's bringing a message that's already within you that's ready to be discovered. So that's the easiest and best way to start off, is just by playing and writing, and then go back and read what you wrote, and then you'll notice that the language is different than the way that you would normally speak. So that would be the easiest way to start, just by writing, just as proof that it works. And then from there, you can play with the tip of having a blindfold on and seeing which sense is stronger for you, and just play with it and have fun. Be very curious about it, and then watch it develop from that way.
I like that idea of being playful, Shelley, because I think that when you try too hard or you take it too seriously, you're almost, suppressing what really could come out for you
Right.
from your wisdom standpoint. So I think that concept is great. Now, if someone's going to start writing, they've never done this before, how long do you suggest that they just try playing with just writing to see how the voice changes a little bit?
Just play for 10 minutes, because guaranteed your own mind will begin to give information. And you'll think, oh, this is crazy. I'm just getting a bunch of head trash, but just keep going. And then you won't notice it, but then the language will switch. And then once you go back and read it, just give yourself that 10 minutes. You'll see, oh my goodness, this really works. Then you have something to play with. And then as you start to pay attention to it, you're going to notice that your senses are getting stronger, because your inner wisdom is always communicating with you. You just don't know it because you're not paying attention. So now this is going to cause you to pay attention, so you start picking up on those subtle frequencies and the messages that it's coming through with.
Got it. So 10 minutes, everybody. That's all that you need to start and take sort of a playful attitude with it. If you take that in, I think you might find that that inner voice comes out a little faster, because it just might want to play with you, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I think that leads to the next segment. And that is that there apparently, so you told me, are better times to connect. Not that you can't connect all the time, because you can't. As you said, your inner wisdom is always there, trying to communicate with you in one way or another, but you may not always be paying attention. But there are also times that are particularly good for connecting. So tell our viewers about that.
Okay, so I just want to start off by saying, please don't kill the messenger. And the reason why I say this is because during the day, you're so busy with your cell phone, social media, the grocery list, the to-do list, that you can't hear your inner wisdom when it's communicating with you. So the best times to communicate is between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. So that's when your inner wisdom wakes you up and brings through information for you. So if you notice that you're waking up around 2 or 3 a.m., well, actually the best time to communicate, I believe, is, if I didn't say this, is between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. So hopefully I said between 5. And if you find yourself waking up around 3 a.m. and you're not stressed for any particular reason, like you're not stressed about money or finances or anything else, you just wake up for the sake of waking up, That's your inner wisdom. It has some information for you that it wants you to write down. And it could be that next great business idea that's going to help you to get your clients and make money on a regular basis. Some of my best ideas come from my inner wisdom, where I jump up, grab paper, pen, and just start writing. And then once you implement, then you start getting the results that you want.
I love you as the messenger. And you want to know why? Because I wake up a lot at that time. And it's just, it just frustrates me when I wake up at that time, because I have trouble going back to sleep. So now you're saying get up and that's the time to try the writing exercise.
That is the best time until you get to the point where you're during the day, maybe you're in the grocery store, you're over by the carrots, you feel some information come in, you can stop, have paper, pen in your purse, and just start writing. So as you begin to get your information during the day, there's no longer a need to wake you up between 2 and 5 a.m. because you're constantly receiving information and you're acknowledging that you're getting it. And then you're able to take action on what you receive.
Well, I love that, because that now means I'm no longer going to get angry at myself or the state of waking up in the middle of the night, because it happens to me a lot. And I never really thought of it that way, although I certainly have numerous times meditated during it, but I don't get up. I do stay in bed. And I'm thinking maybe that getting up is not a bad idea, or at least sitting up in bed and doing the writing might assist, because maybe I've been having all this info trying to come to me and I've been missing out on it all this time.
Exactly. So, and as you begin to play, you get more comfortable, you'll start to feel that twinge or that little nudge where you're inspired. Then that makes it so much easier just to take action on it, because you're like, okay, here's the information. And what I love is synchronicity also plays a really big part in this. So what I do with my clients is I help them to see how they can read and follow universal signs through synchronicity. So for those of you who have a vision board and you have a particular vision that you want to manifest into reality, your inner wisdom along with synchronicity helps guide you in order to bring what's on your board into physical reality, so you can actually live it instead of just looking at it on your board. But it's going to require paying attention to what messages that you're receiving and then taking action on that. So then the great part is when you're in the flow and you're able to take action, you don't feel like you're forcing it or that you're pushing a boulder uphill. It becomes very easy and effortless, and you'll just naturally see the progression of manifestation happening right before you.
Sounds absolutely wonderful. And I think that's going to lead us into the third topic, which is how to tap into your inner wisdom to create a steady income stream, because this is about the client getting part of it. So you've been talking universally about how to tap into your own inner wisdom, and some very simple exercises that you can use in order to take advantage of it, and the times a day, which I love. But I know we got lots of business women here, and we love our businessmen who join us as well. And I think it's important that we really expand on this. So how do you use this to tap into accessing your ideal clients, the ones you really want to work with, the ones that are fun to work with and who will get the best results working with you?
So here's what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you're having conversations, so let's say maybe you're doing discovery sessions, or you're talking to someone who's a potential client and you're not sure if you want to bring them in as a paid client. You want to make sure that your inner wisdom is turned on, because it's going to give you the yes or no if this is the right person for you. If you're operating from your mind and you're from a place of lack or scarcity, let's say maybe the car payment is coming up due, your rent's coming up due, and you feel desperate, like I gotta get a client and I gotta get a client now. When you're operating from that place in your mind, it's from a place of scarcity and you're seeing people as dollar signs. So it's very easy to attract the wrong person from that standpoint, because you're getting whoever in the door in order to make money really fast. So that person becomes a living nightmare because they don't do the work. It's very difficult to work with them. And if you have this habit, and if it goes on long enough, you run the risk of getting a bad reputation. So when you have your inner wisdom turned on, you know right away if this is a right fit or if it's not. And when it is a right fit, your clients will naturally gravitate to you because you can also use your inner wisdom to help you write copy. So you can use it to help you to say the right words. If you're in a podcast show like this, or if you're sending out emails, if you're speaking in front of a live audience, just having a conversation will naturally draw people to you, and then you're going to repel the ones who are not interested. But the most important part is you'll be able to attract your right people, and they'll be a joy to work with because they do the work, they get the results, and then you're able to work with them on a deeper level. You get paid, so that helps you to keep your doors open, and then they get the results that they want. And so what happens is they start sending you referrals. And so that's how you know that your inner wisdom is working and that you're attracting the right people.
A very important point you're making about referrals too, because wouldn't you say that some of your best clients are going to come from other loyal clients that are really, your best cheerleaders as far as the results they got? So a referral is probably by far and away the best one to get. And also, again, you're already going to have that no trust and like factor built in because of the referral. So I think that's a really important point to make. Now, are there some do's and don'ts with this that you can share with people? For instance, you were just saying that, when you're feeling desperate, you might be attracting the wrong clients. But how can somebody know if they're really in their, again, inner wisdom zone so that they can say the right things and attract the right clients? Can you give them a little tip on that?
Absolutely. So when you're in your zone, you become inspired. So that's why earlier I mentioned have your journal and your pen, because as you're writing, you're going to start getting inspiration of what to do in your business, what to offer, and what to say. And as you're trusting, you begin to write down even more information. You get really fired up about it and it becomes a lot of fun. And so you begin having conversations and you'll find yourself getting ideas. Just like recently, I got an idea for myself where I wanted to start speaking in front of more people in person. But because I'm an introvert, I'm not one that would speak in front of a large live audience. So my inner wisdom came through with speak in front of a small group in living rooms. And so I reached out to a former client, and she hosted a small gathering for me, about 10 to 12 women. I was able to have a conversation with them, just meet with them for a couple of hours. And from there, I was able to make an offer to work with me privately. And this is one way that I'm getting out there speaking, using my inner wisdom. I'm attracting new clients, and I'm also getting women that are starting to host in their living rooms for me. So now it's one way to expand your reach. So when you're connected in this way and you trust what you receive, you get something that's natural to you. It's not forced. You're not comparing to other people of their success because you're getting what works exactly for you at that right time. And then you'll find that it works out very well.
I think that's a very interesting thought all by itself, as again, those small groups are much more intimate. And again, they can ask you questions and feel safe, finally connecting with you on a deeper level so that they can connect with themselves on a deeper level. So that makes a lot of sense. So I hope that you are all gaining some great insights from Shelley today. I do apologize because we are having chat difficulties. I'm not able to see your chat right now. So here's what we're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. Wherever you are viewing this from, and I know it's out there in a lot of different pages on Facebook right now, and some of you are directly inside the chat room as well. Apologize that I can't see your chat, so I can't directly respond to them, nor can Shelley. But we are going to check all your chat comments out, and we'll be responding to them as you put them in. So you have some questions for Shelley, put them in the comments section. Shelley and I will get back to you to make sure that your questions are answered. So Shelley, let's show them what you have, something special for them. What I'm going to do is bring the link up on the display, and I'm going to have you tell them what it's all about. And then after the broadcast, all of you come back and look, because I'll have also the link typed in the comment section, but you can get it. It's really easy. And I'll show you that link just right now. It is Shelley's gift. And let me expand here so that they can see the whole thing, or they won't. There we go.
Okay.
So Shelley's gift can be found at hmtips.com/Shelley gift. That's easy. Shelley, go ahead and tell them what it's about.
So this is the secret strategy to moving forward in all areas of your life. And so it's a free report that I came up with, and again, inspired by my inner wisdom to get the message out there to people. It discussed a lot of what Virginia and I talked about today. It goes into all the clairs, and it just shows you how you can move forward and how you are meant to expand into your full possibilities instead of retracting. And so you can use it for your business or your personal life. So this is why I love the inner wisdom, because it's not just segmented to one small piece of the pie. It includes the entire pie. So whatever it is, how you want to move forward in your life, it is designed to help and support you.
Well, it sounds perfect, and very easy for you to go and connect with that, because this takes you directly to her gift. Again, it's hmtips.com/Shelley gift. And Shelley, we greatly appreciate your taking the time to be here today. And all of you that have been here in live mode, thank you. So sorry I can't directly respond to you today with some of the technical challenges we've been having. But thank you for being here. Please, if you found this information valuable, click the share button and send it out to your friends. We'd appreciate that as well. Shelley, any last minute ideas, comments, or takeaways you'd like to share with people?
I would just like to share, go for it, because if you're here joining us live today, it's because your inner wisdom wants to connect with you and have you to expand into your full possibilities. Have fun with it, download the free report, read it, and reach out to us and just let us know what you think. I can't wait to hear your stories and how you're growing with your inner wisdom.
Absolutely. And the story that you just gave us a little while ago about how you helped that one client discover what she needed to do differently to really grow her business dramatically. And you did it in 30 minutes to get to her deepest understanding of what was going on. I think that's phenomenal. So know that Shelley's available for you. And I want to again thank all of you for being here today. We appreciate you. We appreciate that you take the time to be here with us. And it is my passion to share with you what I call inspirational tips and ideas and resources to help you grow your business from inspirational businesswomen in the know. And that is what Shelley has been for us today. Again, thank you for Shelley for being here. And thank you all of you who've been viewing live. And again, those of you who catch it in replay, we love you and appreciate you. And I hope you go out and have a fantastic week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.